Another week, another drama spreading through Speranza, and this time I think it might be it for our creators. Just on Monday, I had my very first live stream, and for those that are still not familiar with me, I'm John Raider. Hello. The old John departed for his lifelong vacation, and I am what remains.
John Raider.
John Raider.
Gone. I am what remains.
Anyway, I received multiple messages about the duplications or dupes currently happening on the Rust Belt, and I wanted to do my own research into what is actually going on, right?
Okay, take another kiss. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. So without hesitation, I opened up my Facebook, literally just wrote down our creators. First hundreds of posts that I saw were marketplace offers for infinite amount of weapons, augments, usables, whatever you need. It only took me minutes to find out what is going on, and so besides the duplications, we also have another update coming from cheaters as well, just so you guys don't feel like you're missing out. More on that in a moment, but we're also getting Thicc Raiders into the game very soon, so hang tight. Well, historically, we've already been doing with the duplications issues previously, where basically most of the time the duplications went like this. They were used through throwables and basically needed two things to happen. Yeah, the one thing was that it had to be throwable, and the second thing was that a person would have to use some sort of like macro to basically disconnect them and connect them back to the live service or to the live server that they were on, and doing this process it would basically duplicate the item. Mostly these duplications were aimed towards generating in-game currency. People were duplicating DAX or other legendary throwables or something that was in the game to basically generate the money, right? But what we are facing today is a much greater issue. This time around, we are not only duplicating throwables, but entire inventories, or as they now call it, bags. A bag simply means an entire inventory, top to bottom, full of specific items. And what items, you might ask, it is this time? Well, mostly weapons. Level 4 bobcats, tempest, volcanoes with kinetic converters, and full endgame attachments. I again did some quick research on Facebook, and you can pretty much buy anything from DAX all the way to fully stacked bobcats. And the prices, well, you get $3 for 2.5 million worth of DAX, $3 for quick use items, $4 for augments and medium shields, $5 for a full bag of guns. And that's what we're currently dealing with. So the overall research points towards profiles that are based in China, but this doesn't mean anything whatsoever where the dupes appear to be happening. The process behind the duping is not easy to uncover though. I got myself into multiple Discord servers hoping to understand how it works, but with no luck. I must have gone through dozens of them, and all I kept finding were marketplaces where those items were being sold. But one thing I discovered though is that most of these servers are pretty new. The majority were built in like past week. And that starts to paint a very clear picture that something must have happened recently. And the strangest thing of it all? Radio silence from Embark. Nothing. No post on Discord, no post on their website. Reddit is silent. We don't know. Oh, you know, actually, yesterday our creators on Instagram released a new video about, I guess, soccer regarding the World Cup that is currently being played. So instead of actually getting any answers or any leads whatsoever that they're working on anything, we got this beautiful video of two Raiders playing soccer with deflated trinket in our creators. So I guess we have that. We're all happy, we're all dancing. So yeah, thanks Embark. And you know, for a very long time I was mostly defending Embark in their ways, trying to reason with the community, saying that changes must be coming from their side. And you know, first we had the massive cheaters wave coming into the game, which was just getting bigger. Then we had the historical dupes, and the bubble just kept inflating. Embark then announced that they are getting like the kernel level protection, which sounds good, sounds impressive, but it's just on paper. Well, just look at this, a new cheat that appeared just today in Arc Raiders basically transforms a normal raider into a Thicc Raider. And so what that means is that besides like basic cheating like ESP or aimbot, you can again increase the hit points or like increase the size of raiders beyond the corner, behind the wall, and you can shoot them basically behind the cover. And you know, this just proves that the entire anti-cheat is completely useless. And as of today, I do not want to call any of these like overall like failure, but I'm sort of losing hope myself, you know? Arc Raiders has been dropping in player numbers rapidly, and while the decision to switch to only 2 major annual updates was a respectable one, we were all hoping that shift would come from the updates and new content more towards like a real investment into the long term of the game. And not even a month later, the game is on fire. You know, and even worse, I've seen many content creators now farming clips of chasing down the dupers, trying to disrupt their transactions, kill them at the extracts or kill them at the spawns. Look, I understand the intention, but the problem feels like that we are really missing an endgame in Arc Raiders, and please don't tell me the endgame should be chasing down cheaters or chasing down traders. I just find it a little too corny, you know, if I'm being honest. Like using this problem as an excuse to generate content around helping the game, and more importantly, I genuinely think like this really might be the final straw for players. And I still understand there are casual players in the Rust Belt, myself included, you know, like I don't grind the game anymore, I just played casually now on the streams. But the issue goes beyond casual lobbies. When player numbers keep dropping, eventually the lobbies will reach a point where even the matchmaking system will struggle to function properly, simply because the pool of players that it is drawing from will eventually become too small for the system to make meaningful decisions. And then eventually all the lobbies will mix PvE, PvP, cheaters everywhere, dupers everywhere. So as of today, Arc Raiders sold 16 million copies overall. And on top of that, we have the Chinese contract that basically sold the rights to develop the game in China, which I believe there must be some money in that as well. And again, I still understand the significant ongoing costs connected with first the development of the game and then having the servers live, but come on. And so as of today, we are here, you know, the game is on fire, and I have just one simple question: where is the investment for the player base that made this money? Where is the return? I'm no longer going to sugarcoat this, but most importantly, the answer lies within you, the community at the end of the day, in the hands of you guys, what you think about all this, you know. So with all that, I'll see you on my next streams. We might still play some Arc Raiders, might try some other games, we will see. We're looking forward. So with all that, John Raider out.